and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to be talking about CSS Align. But before we get started, if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. As well, if you find this video useful, share it with someone else. And if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, if you want to support my channel, I am going to leave my PayPal link in the description below. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so to get started with CSS Align, I need you to open the same website we've been working with so far, which is w3schools.com. You're going to go to the CSS section and you're going to scroll all the way down to where it says CSS Align. Now, as well, I need you to open the same website we've been coding so far and the code that we have been coding in. What I am going to do is delete all that we input in our previous chapter. And I'm also going to delete all the style just so we can have everything empty and we can start here from scratch. Okay, so I just saved both informations and I am hitting refresh. So boom, everything is clean now. So there are two ways that you can align your elements in your website. And one is horizontal and the other one is a vertical align. So we have been taking a look at a couple of properties that can help us center or that can help us align the elements into where we want them to be. But I am dedicating this full chapter just because this has a little bit more to do with the layout overall. So I want to teach you a couple of ways in how you can align your elements and you can make your website look prettier. So the first thing that we are going to take a look at is how to center and how to align elements. So let's read a little bit here. To horizontally center a block element like a division, we use margin auto. Okay, so here is an example in how you can center a block element like a div. You go ahead and you use the margin property and then you set the margin to automatic and then you can apply certain width, some border to your element and then some padding. So if we hit here where it says try it yourself, let's take a look at an example here. So going back to our code, what we are going to do is just add the division. I'm not going to add the paragraph nor none of that. I'm simply going to add a division, and then inside of that division, we're going to add the paragraph like it is in here. So we're simply going to copy this. I'm not going to make this from scratch to not make the video longer. So we're going to paste this information into our HTML code, and the property, let's give this a class of EN1, which is going to stand for example number 1. Okay, we're going to hit save. Now we're going to go back to our code and we're going to hit refresh. And boom, here we have hello world. Okay, now we're going to apply the style to center and align this element, which is going to be the division. So we're going to call the, well, in this case is center, we're going to call example number 1. The selector. Okay, so let's call example number 1 here. And then inside, we're going to apply margin auto. Oh, but before I apply the margin, I want to show you a couple of things. I'm going to apply just the border and some padding. Actually, let's apply just the border. So the border is going to be, well, here they gave it 3 pixels. I'm going to give it 5 pixels. We are still going to make it solid, and I am going to give a background color of red, just because. Okay, so let's hit save. Now going back to our code, let's hit refresh, and boom, here you have the border for our div. Now the next thing, so you can see how when I apply different different style, this is going to be changing. The next thing we are going to apply is going to be some padding of 10 pixels to this. Okay, so let's add the padding, and then let's apply here 10 pixels of padding. And as you can see right now, hello world is located here. After we apply the padding, and let me make sure that I hit save here, I'm going to hit refresh, and now you see this moved a little bit. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is give it a width of 60% of the screen size. So we're going to give it a width, and let's say it's going to be 60%. Okay, let's do that. Same as that example, because I want you to see that as well, kind of similar as the example we have here. So I'm going to hit refresh now, and there we go. So it's 60% of width of your entire window here. Now, the last thing we're going to apply, which is what we were taking a look at, is the margin. We're going to apply the margin as automatic, and this is going to make our division center. Okay, so as soon as I apply a margin as auto, let's hit save now. Going back to our code, I'm going to hit refresh. Boom, you see how now this has been moved center? And you can go ahead and you can actually play around with this, but margin auto is going to help you to apply to block elements a center position. They're going to be aligned to the center. So that was one of the ways that you can go ahead and you can align elements. Now let's continue here, and we are going to take a look here at the center align when it comes to the text. Because right now you saw how we align the division. But the next thing that we want to take a look at is how to align the text probably inside of, of that division, right? So to align text into your division or into something else, it's very simple. The only thing you have to do is use the text align property, and you have to go ahead and make it go to the center. And we're going to do this straightforward, okay? I'm going to just say to this text align and then make it go to the center. Hit save. Now going back here to our screen example, I'm going to hit refresh, and boom, now hello world is located in the center. So as simple as that, you can make your text go to the center. Okay, another way that you can go ahead and you can center other things here in your site will be to center images as well. Because you might find situations where you're creating websites and you might want to have an image aligned to the center of your page. So for this, the only thing that you have to do, obviously, to center an image is set the left and right margin to automatic. Okay, so pay close attention to that, and then make it into a block element, and that'll make your image go to the center. So we are going to add an image right now into our code. I'm going to do that here first. Okay, let's simply add an image. Yes, let's add an image here, and well, let's add the image that we have into our images folder, and let's use the same one we've been using so far, which is the puppy image. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So I'm going to hit save. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. And we have a big image right now. So I'm going to apply some style to make that not that big. Okay, so let's just go ahead and use the image. Let's select the image here. And now to this image, we are going to give it a width of 150 pixels. And also we are going to give it a height of 150 pixels. Okay, so let's hit save, and now let's hit refresh. And boom, as you can see, now your image is a little bit small. We can even apply some border to that image just so you can see this. Or you know what? Let's not apply the border, just to make everything simple. Okay, let's go back to the example. So first thing you have to make sure you do to this is to make your image a block element. So we achieve that by saying image go display block, right? So I'm going to hit save on that, hitting refresh now. Now this has been turned into a block element. Now, the next thing we are going to do to this image is set up the margin and the margin left and the margin right to automatic, as we read here, right? So let's do that. So margin left, it's going to be automatic, and then the margin right is going to be automatic also. And the last thing they applied is a width of 40%. I'm not going to apply that width right now. I'm simply going to apply the margin left and the margin right, just so you can see what now this is going to look like. So going ahead and applying refresh to this, boom, you see now how the image has moved to the center. So as simple as that, you are able to center images into the specific websites that you are doing or that you are creating. So another thing when it comes to alignment that you can do is that you can align elements to either the left or the right using the position property and the absolute value. So let me show you an example here. Let's say that we create another division. I'm going to add another division here. Let's go back here and let's copy this same division. I'm going to add this division after our image. And we're going to give this division the class of example number 2. Let's hit save. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. And there we have that division. Now I'm going to call here example number 2. And I am going to open my syntax. So what we want to make sure we do here is apply some style. First of all, let's do the border, right? Because we want to make sure that you see what we are doing here. So we're going to apply same 5 pixels, make it solid, and this one, let's make it color blue. Okay, let's hit save. Going back here, let's hit refresh. And there you go. So right now we have a division. Okay, now you can go ahead and you can set up this to position absolute. Okay, so let's do that. Position absolute. Okay, let's hit save. Going back here, let's hit refresh. As you can see, what this is going to do is that it actually made the border fit the content, right? Now, the next thing we want to do after we have assigned the position to absolute is to say to this, please go ahead and put this to the right. And we want to make sure that we tell our code that we want it to the right 0 pixels. Okay, so let's hit save now. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. And boom, as simple as that, you have aligned right now an element to your right using the position absolute property. And of course, you have to give to your right a value of 0 pixels. Okay, so you can go ahead and try that out and also move it to the left or do a couple of things with it. I'm going to leave you that as a homework so that you can practice. Now, another thing you can do with left and right align is use also the float property. So if you want to, let's say, align things to the right, you can do that by floating the elements. Now, here we have an example. If you hit here, try it yourself. Here you have an example in how this element has been moved to the right using the float property. Okay, so what I am going to do is very simple, copy the same division, okay, and I am going to paste it. I'm going to change the class to example number 3. We are going to copy all this information here, also pasted, but I'm going to just change the selector to example number 3. We're going to change the color from blue to pink, and we're going to delete the position and the right property. So I'm going to hit save here, making sure I hit save here as well. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. And boom, as you can see here, we have hello world right in the middle. Now, you might be wondering why this is showing here and not below, and it's simply due to the fact that we haven't added any type of other style to arrange things in order and make them, you know, just move one aside of the other. We're just trying different type of alignments right now. So what I'm going to do, just so you guys don't get confused with this, is go ahead and actually delete the example number 2 here. Okay, all the style that we applied to that one, and I'm also going to delete the division. So we're going to hit save here. Let's hit save also into our style, and let's hit refresh. And there you go. That looks a little bit better. So going back here, using the float property, we're going to float this. Okay, so let's make it float to the right. Okay, and we're going to hit save. Going back to our code, we're going to hit refresh. And as simple as that, now the element has been floated to the right. So that's another way that you can float elements to the left or to the right of your screen. Very, easy, very simple. So far, these are the best ways that you can use to position your elements and align them properly into your website layout. If you have questions about anything here, make sure to leave them in the comment section below and I will reply as soon as I can, okay? Now, here is another thing that you can do and use the clear fix hack. But I'm not going to talk about the clear fix hack because for this, I want to explain you first how to use pseudo elements and pseudo class. So we're just going to leave this pending and I'm going to explain that in our next episodes, okay? Now, another thing you can do moving on, skipping that part, is you can center vertically using your padding. And here is an example in how you can center your content inside of your division using some padding. And actually, let's just simply go ahead and create another division, and we're going to give this division a class of example number 4. Let's give it a example number 4, and I'm going to delete the float. And let's just copy this. Okay. Example number 4, let's apply that there. Let's make sure to save this. Oh, and I'm going to turn this to yellow. Okay, so going back here, let's hit refresh and boom. Okay, so the next thing we want to do here, and again, I could delete the previous division, but I'm not going to do that right now. So right now here you see this is center. The information inside is center. So the only thing you have to do is apply some padding here to the top and the bottom, and then you can apply a padding to the left and to the right, and that will make everything go center just by simply using the padding property. So let's do that. Okay, I'm going to apply a padding. Okay, 1 second. Padding, and we're going to, well, here it was given 70 pixels. Let's just use the same measurement here. So 70 pixels and then 0 to left and right. Okay, so let's hit save, and now we're going to hit refresh and boom. And by the way, this is just annoying me just because this has a float to right, so I'm just going to delete example number 3 for you right now. Okay, so let's delete example number 3. I don't want to make everything confusing for you. So, okay, now, whoops, here, let's hit refresh. And, well, as you can see now, top and bottom, and then we have given 0 here. So another thing here with example number 4 is to make sure that when you're applying your padding here, which as you can see, I apply a padding of 70 pixels and then 0. Let me just put this on the top. I just like to see it a little bit better, like the example. I'm going to hit save. Let's hit refresh here to make sure nothing changed. Okay, so if I go ahead and I hit here where it says try it yourself, as you can see here, we are centering this class, right? And as you can see, this has been centered just by using the padding as I show you in the example that we have here in the website. Okay, so it's the exact same thing, just using the padding property. Moving on, the other thing you can do is use the padding and also the text align to make your text go to the center. So we already applied the padding. Now you want to move all the text to the center. Very simple, just use text align to the center and that'll make all your text go to the center. Okay, so hit save, hit refresh, and boom, now you have everything very well aligned inside of your division. Okay, so those are a couple of ways that you can go ahead and you can move your elements and you can move your text to the center. There are some others that you can use here, like line height. You can also use here position and transform. I haven't spoken too much about the transform property, so I don't want to get myself ahead into that until we go to that specific topic, okay? So what I am going to do is just leave you that as a homework to just start reading about those other methods that you have in this same tutorial so that you can learn a little bit in how you can align your elements using other properties. Okay, but for today, that was it for this video, everyone. I hope that you have learned a little bit more in how you can play around with your layout using different properties and how you can arrange everything and make your website look a lot better. Now, remember, if you have questions about any of the explanations I gave today here, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I will read them and I will reply as soon as I can to help you out. But also remember to practice, because that's the only way that you're going to learn from your mistakes and you're going to find solutions, okay? So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. That will really help my channel. And if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye everyone, and see you again in the next episode.